And that process is becoming a lot easier now because again, with AI, you
Mm,
know, the gener the generating abilities that AI has when it comes to filmmaking, when it comes to editing, is most certainly cutting out a lot of
Hmm.
time needed to be spent on certain things and jobs as well. Now there's restrictions in place, like you can't. I don't know too much about the laws that were discussed and all the restrictions discussed between the different unions in Hollywood and all that stuff, but I don't think you could AI generate an entire movie. Like they're just not gonna accept that.
They was
Um,
fighting. They was fighting They was fighting to do stuff like that though. Like, isn't that one of the reasons why they decided to kind of go step out and start walk, because they was trying to hire you to do one part and then take your likeness and then you use the AI to generate other aspects from that one likeness, but you don't get paid as they continue to do that. So Hollywood at some point was trying to get to that point as close as possible, because just think about it. If I can screenshot Michael B. Jordan at 32 and then in 30 years still making AI generated 32-year-old Michael B. Jordan making films, and it looks just as good as if he was still there at 32. You already know that they was trying to at some point tap into that aspect. Or like, for example, films being narrated by I just had his
Morgan,
name and
Morgan
then I
Freeman.
lost it.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, right? Like he's getting older to the point where he can't do what he did in the past, or what they did with in Star Wars, like what they was doing with Darth Vader, just using the all of the years that they have of content of him being Darth Vader, and then in a new film still taking those words. And imagine, so I know for a fact that they was trying to do that, and they was trying to get out of not paying the creator, the actor for that type of stuff. So
I do
I don't
think
know.
there are ethical ways to use AI in filmmaking. Unfortunately, in filmmaking, there's a lot of greedy people that are going to use it
Mhm.
in the wrong way in order to to get an extra buck. So like there's like the things that I agree with is, maybe in the editing room, like you can do things where you can generate a massive, like you have one part of your like the things that are available right now. You have one part of your screen or some shit, and they can automatically generate, AI can generate the rest of the
Right.
scene, the rest of the setting behind you.
Around it.
And you
Yeah.
didn't shoot any of that. They just
Right.
took it
Mhm.
and they just filled in the rest. I forgot what it was called. It was film something. But yeah, that's some shit that I didn't even play around with yet. But it's crazy. It's like, wow,
Think
that's
about
amazing
it.
that you can do that. Now on the writing side, like I wouldn't I like right now there's a feature, like to go back to the editing thing, there's a feature to where AI can color grade your shit. I don't agree with that. Like I don't want everything that I do to look exactly the same, like just the
Right.
template type shit to
well,
look like
you
the color
you can
grading is
argue. Sorry to cut you off, but you can argue. Um, I don't know how that works for the color grading, but when you're AI generating images on Mid Journey or Photoshop,
mhm.
you tell it what you want to a certain degree. It's like you're talking to the AI. It's like the whole chat GBT thing. You're literally telling it exactly what you want and it generates what you want. Now for color grading, I don't know where you heard that from. I don't know how it
Look at
correct.
CapCut. CapCut, they I don't like I don't see this too much so much in Premiere Pro. I still gotta play around with Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is my primary source of things, but I go to CapCut sometimes just to after I done editing in Premiere Pro. They got some features that I like to throw in there. And one of the things that I saw is hit this button, AI will color grade your shit for you. And I'm like, really? I never tried it, but I was like, really? That and that's some shit that actually happened.
They
I
have
want
the
to see what
same
that looks
thing
like.
for
If
they
they
have the
color
same
grade good enough, then why not?
mhm. They have it
I
for sound.
Especially for
Yep.
independent filmmakers, especially for people that now at the same time you gotta think about it in a sense of like it is AI is gonna take jobs away from people. right? So if I'm paying for a program, $100 a month or whatever the case may be, and it's going to do it for me, that might be better than going out and paying a couple of $1,000s for, an actual person to color grade it. Now that's if if I'm okay with the basics, and I'm assuming if they're at the basics, they're continuing to build, continuing to grow to make that a little bit different, so then where you can, you know, so and then I think that goes into the conversation that we was talking about with music artists when it comes to like mastering, engineering, creating your beat. If I'm an editor or if I'm a director and I want to edit my own project and I sit down and I have these other resources that I'm already paying for because I've purchased the editing software that can help me do that and cut out the middleman. That's the part that I meant where there are some similarities that are on the face. But at the same time, when you get an actual person that is in the line of work, that's in the field, that understands, how you should edit in certain aspects of a film to get across a message, then that's when you're going to sit down and you need an actual person that knows how to do it to actually do that, if that makes sense.
That's where the greed comes in. Like from what you're saying is sounds great from an independent side or somebody with a smaller budget. There's no reason why and I'm just throwing out a name there. There's no reason why a Universal or a Paramount Pictures should be me having somebody AI generate a color grade.
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah.
somebody, you have the actual funds, you have the actual to save a few dollars. Like, no, like you, and this is why like Pete, like this the thing that messes it up is like you can tell like where their heads are going. Some execs, some studios, or some people in Hollywood where their heads are going in regards to seeing AI and they seeing dollar signs in their eyes. They did this with the writing portion of it. Like Seinfeld, like a show like Seinfeld or some shit like, or a show like Family Matters or whatever. It used to be syndicated across whatever channels, and and so the writers get paid each time that that episode drops or it shows up on TV. Well, now the business side of it has changed to where people are not watching TV as much. People are cord cutting, cable cutting, and they're streaming more. The streaming side of it is you're not going to have they're not paying you per episode, but every time that shit is streamed. It doesn't count the same that it did in television. So now they're seeing their checks go from there's people that seen their checks go from where it was when shit was primarily on TV to completely smaller because they're
Mhm.
not getting paid that same way. And so that's the fight. Now they're trying to take AI, like they're like now they're trying, like now that they fought that, they're trying to take AI and use that to um pick up on people's writing style, and then kind of like being able to auto generate that. Because have you ever played with Chat GPT or any of these AI things and ask it to write you a script? Shit is bad. It's terrible. It's not good. But or even to write a book, to write a story. It's very
Mhm.
generic. It's very bare bones, and it's not creative at all. And so like now you're trying to use people who actually have a name, or like people who are like maybe talented in this particular area, to have AI to learn it and then come in and then use that so that you can discard the people that you got the AI learn from, and then just pump out money, just pump out funds. It's just trying to cut out people. It's ridiculous.
It's,
So
it's,
Yeah.
it's it's tough. It's going to be tough to do that because in Hollywood you have so many like hardened veterans of like the film industry that have been working there for 30 something years, and if you can't convince the post sound guy that is an expert on Pro Tools and he's been mixing films for 35 years that he's going to be replaced by an AI software that can clean up sound automatically in an industry where using auto anything is the devil. Autofocus is the devil.
mm,
Auto iris is the devil. On name one film set you've been on where they're like, oh yeah, just put it on autofocus. Oh, just put it
Yeah.
on. Like you will never ever hear that on a film set. So auto AI is exactly what that is. Auto do this. It's going to be very difficult to accept that, and that's why you see so many people pushing back and fighting. Like nobody wants this non-human thing to overtake an activity that where the foundation of the art was human interaction. It's just going to be too tough. Like you might have, simple things that might help, you know, tedious tasks. Like, for example, in Adobe Premiere for editing, you can have it auto cut all the pauses in a single clip. I just did it earlier today. You can literally transcribe the entire video clip, and it brings it up in the square, and you can just click and be like, okay, backspace, boom, take that out, backspace, boom, take that out. You're no longer even in the timeline making all these cuts and taking all this time to make all these cuts. You can literally just have AI, create something easier for you to look at, and you can just kind of do it in that manner. So I like that aspect of it because, you know, you're controlling the AI isn't controlling you. You're allowing it to
Mhm.
speed up and make menial tasks more
Yeah.
time efficient. And it's obvious that they're taking it to a level to now where they're trying to create raw art, like just plain art from nothing.
But
What
we
the
see that,
AI
and
does,
I think that how we was talking about how we want to cut out the middleman. I'm just assuming that those bigger companies are doing the also. Like if they can cut out the middleman and pay a mechanic to fix a machine rather than paying a disgruntled director or writer or actor, whatever the case may be, they're definitely going to try to. It's the same thing like with the production line. You know, they had people do it. Now all of a sudden these people want goddamn unions, and I got to pay a certain raise. So they said, hey, I'm just going to pay a couple $1,000,000, get this machine to do it, and then pay this mechanic minimum wage to come in and fix it when it breaks. So I don't think they can do it. I don't think they ever will be able to do it because, like, for the reasons that we've already kind of discussed. But I think they would take the opportunity to do so if they can. Like, the Disney CEO makes $26 million a year. He does not put butts in seats. Like, nobody thought that the Disney CEO is the reason why I'm going to go see Black Panther or Black Panther 2 or any of these Thor films or anything like that, right? It's the individuals that actually are on the ground floor creating and putting that stuff together. But that CEO is a part of the conversation of why they didn't want to pay the actors their worth. You know what I'm saying? So I just think they're trying to also cut out the middleman to make it easier for them to make the billions of dollars that they've been
there's a
able to
flip
make.
side to that. There's a flip side to that because it kind of levels the playing field a little bit for the independent filmmaker to where
Mhm.
like I've played around, maybe not film wise, but like let's say like I played around with it to where just to see the capabilities of it, I'm taking anything like Adobe Firefly or fucking Mid Journey or whatever, like a whole bunch of other stuff to get like AI pictures, right? Not even, and they're actually working on AI video right now. Like I don't know if it's complete, it's like still in beta, but like just using the picture side of it. So I'll take the pictures, I'll put in the prompt of what I need of what this particular scene. I'll use that as part of my storyboarding. And so I got to the point where with my storyboarding, now I'm just fucking taking not only doing the storyboarding, I'm actually um taking like different, I'm using my voice and then putting, AI on it to change an AI filter on it to just to change it if it needs to sound like somebody who's from Great Britain, or it needs to sound like an older gentleman, or it needs to sound like somebody goofy. I've done that to where now I can create the story. I can visualize it a little bit better, and now I'm more engaged. And now I'll just put it together in Premiere Pro, and I'll just like kind of have it chopped up to where it's like, all right, now I can feel it. I'll put music behind it. Now I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. But like you can't, like you can cut out a lot of other stuff that you don't need as far as an independent filmmaker. I don't agree with that being used as far as
Yeah,
the bigger
but I
studios.
think
That's
I
my
think
opinion.
I think AI is meant to be an assist. Like I think it's meant to, like you said, get rid of some of those tedious things, help you along the way to clarify and clear up and get things moving. I don't think it's supposed to be a replacement. So I do agree. I agree with everything. I think they need to
Cool.
get rid of it to that extent. Like this should be an assist. This should make my human job a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? Rather than what it is. And I think we we just get into this idea of computers and AI and stuff like that doing everything for us. These are just like really good talking points. I don't think there'll ever be a flying car, at least in our lifetime, right? I just don't think us as people is built for something like that, if that makes sense. But
I mean, it's a rabbit. It's definitely the start of a rabbit hole, and I think that's a part of the conversation too when it comes to AI. Because there's just too many movies about artificial intelligence and kind of if it goes too far, the ex machinas and the creator,
iRobot,
iRobot, like it's like AI has now developed the ability to have a conscience, and now it's going to take over the world and
Terminator,
wipe out the human existence, aka Ultron. Like it, and I get it. Do I think that's possible? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, because it's not. I don't think it's impossible. It's just we just have to know how to regulate that technology. As long as we regulate it and we use it,
we're not going to regulate it. We're not built. Us as humans is not built like that. Son. So
you know what?
If it's around, then it's going to happen.
Certified real.
Hey, I'm a little excited.
You heard it here first. Certified real. Everybody.
You are now listening to Real Talk Podcast.
This is Certified